All right, here we are with another day of factoring. Today is going to look very similar to the problems that we did in our last video, but there is a small difference. You'll notice that there is a negative sign in this quadratic that we're trying to factor. So remember, we had been trying to factor it as the product of two binomials, but we were doing x plus a and x plus b. Remember, we want whatever two numbers go here to multiply together to get 40, but this time they're going to have to add together to get negative 14. So if we want two numbers that multiply together to get a positive, but add to get a negative, that actually means that both of the numbers are going to have to be negative. So we're going to have x minus a number and x minus a number. So we know the signs of the two numbers both have to be negative. And now, again, you do not have to make this table if you're going to be able to figure out those numbers that would work. But I'm going to make one. So factors of 40. And then we're going to have the sum over here. If you can find the factors that work without making a list, go right on ahead. But if you have to, this is a good way to do it. So two numbers that multiply together to get 40. And again, they both need to be negative. So we can have -1 and -40. 2, or in this case, -2 will go into 40. -2 times -20. -3 will not go into -40, but -4 will when multiplied by -10. And -5 will when multiplied by -8. And then -6 and -7 both will not go into 40. So these are all of the ways we can multiply integers to get to 40. And now we need to look for the sum because we want a sum of -14. So if our pair was -1 and -40, those had to be -41. -2 and -20 add to be -22. -4 and -10 add to be -14. And -5 and -8 add to be -13. So we need two numbers that multiply together to get +40 and -14. Those numbers are -4 and -10. So this factors as x minus 4 and x minus 10. And again, you could also say x minus 10 times x minus 4. Same difference. I'll just do one more example today to hopefully give you a little bit more of an idea. And then we'll be done for this video. So in this case, hopefully you're thinking along to yourself, I need two numbers that multiply to get one number and add to get another. They multiply to get 16, so we're looking for factors of 16. And what their sum is. And again, we're going to actually need two negative numbers because I know 1 times 16 would give me 16, but their sum is going to be positive. I want a -1, so we're actually going to consider -1 and -16 because those multiply to have a positive product, but add to have a negative sum. And that has a sum of -17. So I know this is not my pair because I'm looking for -8. So then we can think about 2 goes into 16 8 times, and we want them both to be negative. But they have a sum of -10. Still not -8, but we are getting closer. -3 does not evenly go into into 16, so we'll do -4 and -4, which does have a sum of -8. So we know that this factors as x minus 4 times x minus 4. So then in this case, I don't need to rewrite it in that way because changing the order they're both x minus 4, so that doesn't actually change anything. But you may also see this written as x minus 4 closed quantity squared, because it's x minus 4 times itself. So those are the same thing. I'm always fine if you put either one of those, but it's nice to recognize that both of those are correct and are the same thing.